Why do you think it turned from thanking God to thanking the universe? Do you feel like they thank the universe because there's less pressure with the universe and less rules?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I felt I just connected with it more maybe than God, and I felt a bit more free with it. It was more open. You could kind of do what you want. I like having something to believe in because I think it gives people purpose. I think it gives people community. It gives people a reason to, like, I don't know, carry on. Like, I feel like if we don't believe in anything, I feel like that's a little bit depressing.
I know you're itching, Tim.
No, I actually agree with her line of thinking. Other than that, what she said as to if you don't believe in anything, it's somewhat depressing. And people assume that if you're an atheist or you don't actually approve or believe in any mainstream religion, you're sort of just stuck in no man's land. You're just void of empathy, emotion, morality, and that's not true. I think I lean on philosophy, for instance, just different forms of life philosophy that allow me to navigate life, and nature as well. I'm in tune with nature. And in some sense, I know spirituality allows for that sort of, like she said, she touched on the uniqueness as well, uniqueness of every human individual. I think that's why I can actually, approve of spirituality and say, that makes sense. Whereas with Christianity, it's sort of, it's just rigid, legalistic to some extent, and there's just various doctrines, a lot of doctrines that one has to abide by, and you might not know if you're right or wrong.
I think that's so interesting because I think what's the difference between Christianity amongst other religions is the fact that we actually emphasize having a relationship rather than laws and regulations. If you look at Judaism, you have the 613 mitzvah. If you look at Islam, you have systems and how they believe, like the measuring of the good and the bad works that you're doing. But I think with Christianity, it's literally about having freedom, and it's literally about having a relationship. And we're actually one of the only religions that don't even talk about having a system and having a way of doing life. It's actually a lot more liberating and a lot more free because God understands that he's made every single person unique and different. And depending on where you are in the world, the way that you practice Christianity will be incredibly different. And what you see in Christianity will be incredibly different. What would you say to someone who believes in God, not because of the good things that they receive, but actually based off the persecution that they face? That it has to be, it's not just about morality or about doing good things or having this happy, positive life. It's actually about sacrifice and relationship. This person loved us so much that he was willing to die. When I think about my faith, there's a lot of themes about sorrow and sadness, and it's not that optimistic, but we know that there is someone there who cares about us so much.
I can understand why religion thrives in many countries. Many countries, such as where I'm from, because of they are oppressed. Essentially, I think it was Karl Marx who said religion is the opium of the masses. People look to religion for hope because at the end of the day, if you're in we're literally on a spinning globe, wherever it is we are on, a universe, and we're confused. We need hope. We need something to look forward to. So for most parts, we're going to look to a mythical being to sort of save us. And what better religion to do that with than to a God, a mythical being who sort of sacrifices himself and showed some love for us. And we can actually relate to that because it makes us feel as though there's really hope for me. There's really hope for me to sort of, whatever I'm going through, if it's persecution, if it's I'm not allowed to believe in this Jesus Christ, which we see in history and times past. And whilst I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, leaning on something for hope, just because you feel like, oh, this life is depressing or something, doesn't necessarily mean that makes God real. Your experiences don't make God real. What I'm saying, does that make sense? So just because you're feeling something, you're feeling the sense of, oh.
So your feelings don't mean anything to you, is that what you're saying?
I'm not necessarily, feelings are not fact. These are emotions. Emotions change from time to time.
But they're still real.
No, definitely. I'm not saying they're not real. But I think what I am saying is that feelings are not fact, and that doesn't mean that, your feelings can tell you you're seeing something you're literally not. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you could be seeing things and you're not seeing it. Like, that's how we are. We're a being that is very emotional, but it does not necessarily mean that there's a God there. But that's what makes us feel good.